Have you ever wondered why some people move through life with calm focus, while others struggle just to stay afloat? What separates those who wake up with purpose from those who wake up already tired? The truth is not talent, not luck, not even opportunity. It's habit. The small, invisible choices that shape every moment of your day. Habits are the silent architects of your future. They either build you up or quietly destroy you. And most people never notice which direction they're building until it's too late. Every day, you are training yourself, whether you mean to or not. You are training your mind to be strong or fragile. You are training your focus to stay or to drift. You are training your emotions to rise or to break. Every small action, every repeated thought, every reaction you allow is either sharpening your inner blade or letting it rust. This is why discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. The person who controls their habits controls their destiny. But let's be honest, habits are hard. Change is uncomfortable. The moment you decide to grow, your mind will resist. It will whisper that you're too tired, that you've tried before, that maybe it's not worth it. That voice is not your enemy, it's your test. Because beyond that resistance lies the version of you that's been waiting to lead. The version that doesn't chase motivation, but builds it through action. The one that doesn't wish for focus, but earns it through practice. You don't have to make massive changes overnight. Real transformation happens in quiet repetition. One small choice, done daily, creates a wave that reshapes your entire identity. Science calls it neuroplasticity, your brain rewiring itself through consistent effort. Every time you do what's hard, every time you show up despite the resistance, you carve a new path in your mind. Over time, that path becomes effortless. What was once discipline becomes nature. Imagine waking up each morning with clarity instead of chaos. Imagine a mind trained to return to calm when life tests you. Imagine feeling energy not from caffeine or motivation videos, but from deep inner alignment. This is not fantasy, it's the reward of daily habit. It's the result of showing up for yourself, even when no one is watching. That's the work of mastery. To live so intentionally that your habits carry you, even when motivation fades. Stay with this message, because in the next few moments, you'll discover the 10 habits that create that transformation. Habits practiced by warriors, monks, and high performers across the world. Habits that shape not just your success, but your inner peace. These are not tricks. They are disciplines that realign your body, mind, and spirit into one direction. You are capable of more than you think. You are stronger than your excuses. You are built for growth, built for focus, built for mastery. But none of it begins tomorrow. It begins now, in this breath, in this decision, in this choice, to stay present and learn what it takes to build the life you've always felt calling you. The next few minutes could be the turning point between who you are and who you were meant to become. Stay with me. The journey begins here. The first habit you must build each day is awareness. Not the kind that comes and goes with distraction, but deep awareness. The kind that makes you truly awake in your own life. Most people live half asleep, pulled by noise, reacting without thought, drifting from one moment to the next. Awareness is what separates movement from purpose. It's the discipline of seeing yourself clearly, without judgment, without excuses. When you wake up, before you reach for your phone, take a moment to breathe. Ask yourself, where am I? Who am I becoming through my actions today? That single pause can change the direction of your entire day. Awareness is power because it gives you choice. Without it, your emotions control you. You repeat old patterns, chase comfort, and mistake activity for progress. But when you cultivate awareness, you begin to see the truth behind your impulses. You notice when your mind is restless, when your body is tense, when your focus starts to scatter. And instead of being consumed by it, you learn to return back to the present, back to control, back to yourself. That's where discipline starts. Not in force, but in recognition. Psychologists call this metacognition, the ability to think about what you're thinking. It's the foundation of growth. Because once you can observe your thoughts, you no longer have to obey them. You realize that you are not your doubts, not your fears, not your impulses. You are the observer of all of it, and from that position, you can choose your direction consciously. That choice, made again and again, becomes the seed of transformation. But awareness isn't just a mental exercise, it's a physical practice. Every time you slow down your breath, you send a signal to your nervous system, I am safe, I am in control. Your heartbeat steadies, your focus sharpens, your energy returns to you. Ancient monks like Heng teach that awareness begins in the body. Feel your feet on the ground, your breath entering and leaving. Feel the energy that moves through you when you stop rushing and start noticing. This is not spirituality, it's science. A calm body creates a calm mind. A calm mind creates clear action. When you live with awareness, you stop being a victim of time. You no longer chase the clock or let your day disappear into meaningless distractions. You move with intention. You respond instead of react. You begin to see that every moment is training, every challenge, every frustration, every breath. You start to understand that awareness is not something you find, it's something you build, one mindful second at a time. And here's the truth, the more aware you become, the more peaceful you feel. Because awareness dissolves chaos. It shows you that life isn't against you. Your perception simply got clouded. Once that fog clears, even pain becomes a teacher. Even silence becomes progress. The more you practice awareness, the less you need to escape. You find your strength not in control, but in presence. So as you move through today, slow down. Watch your own thoughts as they appear. Notice when fear speaks and when courage whispers. Notice when you want to quit and when a quiet voice inside says, keep going. That's the voice of awareness guiding you toward mastery. It will never shout, but it never leaves. Listen to it, strengthen it, let it lead you. Because the path to transformation doesn't begin in the world outside, it begins in the space between your thoughts, where awareness lives, waiting for you to return. The second habit that shapes your life is consistency, the quiet, unseen repetition that turns intention into identity. Most people fail, not because they lack desire, but because they stop showing up when the feeling fades. They start strong, fueled by excitement, but crumble when results don't come fast enough. Consistency is the bridge between effort and transformation. It's what turns discipline into mastery. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, it's the silent force that separates those who dream from those who become. Every day you repeat an action, you cast a vote for the person you want to be. One workout doesn't make you strong. One day of focus doesn't build discipline. But repeated, small actions compound in silence. The science of habit formation calls it the compound effect, the gradual accumulation of small wins that multiply over time. It's the invisible momentum that turns weakness into strength and chaos into control. Every time you choose consistency over comfort, you are programming your mind for resilience. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about showing up. Even when it's hard, even when no one notices, even when your motivation is gone. Because that's where real character is built. Not in moments of inspiration, but in the ordinary days where you choose not to give up. You build consistency by keeping promises to yourself. Every time you follow through, you teach your mind to trust your word. And when your mind trusts you, doubt loses its power. You stop negotiating with excuses. You simply move. The human brain loves patterns. It craves routine. When you repeat a behavior daily, you're not forcing discipline, you're creating automaticity. That means your actions become effortless. The resistance fades. What once took willpower becomes natural. That's why monks and warriors train daily, not occasionally. They know that mastery lives in repetition. The act itself becomes a form of meditation, a moving prayer that aligns body and mind into one rhythm. But the greatest enemy of consistency is emotion. We let feelings decide our effort. We say, I don't feel like it today, and let that excuse rule us. Yet, true power comes from doing what must be done regardless of how you feel. Feelings are temporary. Commitment is permanent. When you stop being loyal to your moods and start being loyal to your mission, everything changes. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to feel peace because your identity is no longer fragile. It's rooted in action. There will be days when progress feels invisible, when effort seems wasted, when your mind whispers that none of it matters. That is when consistency tests you. Those are the moments that define your growth. Because every time you move forward despite doubt, you're proving to yourself that your will is stronger than your emotions. That is the quiet victory no one sees, but it's the one that changes everything. If awareness is the light that reveals the path, consistency is the strength that keeps you walking it. Every step, no matter how small, is progress. Every repetition refines you. You're not repeating the same day, you're refining the same craft. The craft of being your best self. So keep showing up, keep moving, keep building, even when it feels slow, even when no one claps. Because greatness doesn't arrive suddenly, it grows quietly in the background of your daily effort, waiting for the moment when you finally realize you've become everything you once hoped to be. The third habit you must cultivate every day is discipline of the mind, the ability to control your thoughts before they control you. Most people fight their circumstances, but few ever confront the battlefield within. Your thoughts create your reality long before your actions do. What you think repeatedly becomes what you believe. What you believe becomes how you act, and how you act becomes who you are. The mind is your greatest weapon or your greatest weakness. It depends on who commands it. A disciplined mind is not one that never doubts, but one that never surrenders to doubt. It's trained to recognize distractions as illusions, emotions as signals, and fear as an invitation to grow. When you learn to master your inner dialogue, you stop being at war with yourself. You become focused, calm, unshaken. You begin to move through life with quiet confidence, not because everything is easy, but because your mind no longer runs wild. You lead it, you direct it. Modern psychology calls it cognitive control, the ability to redirect attention away from destructive thoughts and toward meaningful action. It's what separates those who crumble under pressure from those who thrive in it. Every time you pause before reacting, every time you choose patience over frustration, you are training your mental muscles. You're strengthening the part of your brain that leads instead of follows. The more you do this, the stronger the control becomes. But understand this, mental discipline is not built through comfort. It's forged in moments of tension, when your emotions are loud, when your impulses demand to win. That's when the training begins, when everything inside you says, I can't, and you choose to breathe, observe, and continue anyway. Each time you overcome that storm, you teach your mind that you are not its servant, you are its master. That single habit changes everything, because the quality of your life will always match the quality of your thoughts. To discipline your mind, you must learn to question it. When it says, you're not ready, ask, is that truth or fear? When it says, you'll fail, ask, what lesson would success require first? The mind speaks in stories, and most of them are outdated, echoes of past pain, old insecurities, false limits. Awareness lets you hear those stories. Consistency lets you challenge them. Discipline rewrites them. It replaces noise with clarity. It removes panic and replaces it with peace. A mind without discipline is like a wild horse, powerful but uncontrollable. It runs in circles, exhausting itself without direction. But once trained, that same power becomes unstoppable. It carries you through doubt, fatigue, and chaos with unshakable focus. This is why monks spend years mastering stillness, not to escape life, but to command their mind so that nothing external can disturb their inner stability. That level of control is available to anyone willing to train daily. When your mind is disciplined, failure no longer breaks you. Criticism no longer defines you. Discomfort no longer scares you. You move with intent because your thoughts align with your vision. That's real freedom. Not escaping your mind, but owning it. Each morning, strengthen it with silence, reflection, and gratitude. Each challenge, treat as a gym for your thoughts. Every day you practice mental discipline, you sharpen your greatest tool, the one that shapes your actions, your results, and ultimately, your destiny. The next habit that defines growth is mastering your emotions, not suppressing them, not denying them, but understanding them. Emotions are energy in motion, signals that reveal where your attention and attachments lie. Most people either drown in their feelings or run from them. They explode in anger, collapse in fear, or numb themselves to avoid discomfort. But emotional mastery means standing in the center of the storm and not losing yourself to it. It means feeling deeply, yet choosing wisely. When you allow emotions to rule your actions, you surrender your power. You let temporary states create permanent consequences. But when you learn to observe emotion with awareness and discipline, it becomes your ally. You can feel anger without destruction. You can feel fear without paralysis. You can feel sadness without despair. This is what emotional intelligence truly is. Not control by suppression, but control through understanding. It's the skill of listening to your emotions without obeying them. Neuroscience tells us that emotion comes before thought. The body reacts first, the mind justifies later. That's why emotional mastery starts with the body, with breath, posture, awareness of tension. When you slow your breathing, your nervous system calms. When your body finds stillness, your mind follows. This is why ancient warriors and monks train not only the mind, but also the breath. Because to command emotion, you must first command the body it moves through. Think of emotion as a wave. You cannot stop it, but you can ride it. Every feeling has a beginning, a peak, and a fall. Most people react at the peak when emotion is strongest. But if you can wait, observe, and breathe through it, the wave will pass. And when it does, you'll act not from reaction, but from clarity. That gap, the pause between feeling and action, is where wisdom lives. Every moment you practice it, you grow stronger. You're not avoiding emotion, you're mastering its rhythm. Emotional mastery doesn't make you cold, it makes you powerful. Because when you can stay calm in chaos, compassionate in conflict, and patient in frustration, you become unshakable. You're no longer pushed by impulses or pulled by fear. You move with purpose. You become someone who can carry pressure without breaking, who can respond with strength when others collapse. That kind of presence is rare, and it's built through daily emotional training. Every challenge in your life is an invitation to practice this habit. When someone tests your patience, it's a chance to train control. When failure hurts, it's a chance to strengthen resilience. When fear whispers, it's a chance to choose courage. Your emotions are not enemies. They are mirrors showing you where you still need growth. The more you face them, the more you transform them into wisdom. Remember, true strength is not found in suppression, but in expression guided by awareness. It's the quiet confidence of someone who can feel everything, yet still choose the right action. When you reach that level, the world can no longer manipulate you. No opinion can define you. No chaos can shake you. You move from reaction to intention, from turbulence to peace. Every day you practice emotional mastery, you move closer to the calm center of your own power, the place where nothing outside of you can steal your inner stability again. Another habit that transforms your entire being is mastering your energy. Every thought, every word, every action either drains or restores it. Your energy is the currency of your life. How you spend it determines who you become. Most people waste it without realizing. They give it to distractions, to gossip, to worry, to things that do not build them. And then they wonder why they feel empty, exhausted, uninspired. You cannot live with purpose if your energy is scattered. You cannot create peace if your attention is constantly stolen. Energy mastery begins with awareness of where your focus goes, because where focus goes, energy flows. If your mind is trapped in the past or anxious about the future, your energy leaks away. But when you anchor your attention in the present, you conserve power. The present moment is your charging station. It's where your mind and body synchronize. Every breath you take with intention, every task you do with focus, every moment you live consciously, it all returns energy to you. This is why presence feels powerful. It's not just calm, it's strength. Your environment also feeds or drains your energy. The people you surround yourself with, the spaces you live in, the information you consume, all of it shapes your internal state. Energy is contagious. If you walk among negativity, you start to carry it. If you fill your space with noise, your mind cannot rest. Protect your energy the way a warrior protects his weapon. You don't need to shut the world out, but you must choose carefully what you allow to enter your field. Every boundary you set is an act of self-respect. Physical energy is equally sacred. Your body is the vessel of your spirit. If you neglect it, you weaken your foundation. Movement, breath, rest, and nutrition are not luxuries. They are the roots of clarity. When the body is heavy, the mind becomes dull. When the body is cared for, the mind awakens. Even 5 minutes of still breathing or mindful movement can shift your entire frequency. You don't need perfection, you need intention. Every small act of care tells your mind that you are worth energy. But there is a deeper layer to energy, the emotional frequency you choose to live in. Gratitude, kindness, and purpose elevate your vibration. Anger, resentment, and envy lower it. Science has proven that emotions carry measurable energy. Your thoughts literally affect the chemistry of your body and the vibration of your presence. When you choose gratitude, your nervous system relaxes. When you choose compassion, your heart rhythm stabilizes. You begin to radiate calm, and life responds in harmony. Energy mastery isn't about always feeling good. It's about managing what you feel with awareness. It's about knowing when to rest, when to rise, when to protect, and when to give. It's the art of keeping your internal flame alive, no matter how cold the world becomes. Every time you choose focus over distraction, rest over exhaustion, gratitude over bitterness, you reclaim your power. You build an energy field that nothing outside can drain. When you master your energy, life stops feeling like survival. You move with flow. You attract opportunities, people, and experiences that match your frequency. You stop forcing and start aligning. You no longer chase peace, you carry it, because your energy is no longer scattered across 100 distractions. It's whole, it's yours. And from that centered state, every action you take holds power, precision, and purpose. The next habit that shapes your evolution is stillness. In a world that glorifies noise and constant movement, stillness is rebellion. It is not the absence of action, but the mastery of it. It's the space where clarity is born, where your mind stops reacting and starts understanding. When you allow silence to exist in your day, you give yourself room to hear the truth that gets lost beneath the noise. Stillness is where wisdom lives, where strength regathers, where the scattered pieces of your focus return home. Most people fear stillness because it forces them to meet themselves. When the distractions fade, what's left is your own voice, the one you've ignored, buried, or forgotten. But that voice carries guidance. It knows what you truly need. It knows what is real. The practice of stillness is the practice of listening. It's learning to be present with your own mind without judgment, without escape. This is where transformation begins. Not in doing more, but in being more aware. Neuroscience shows that silence strengthens the brain's ability to process information, reduce stress, and heighten creativity. When you stop flooding your senses, your nervous system recalibrates. Your breath deepens. Your thoughts slow down. What once felt urgent begins to lose its grip. You start to see solutions that chaos hides. Stillness is not laziness, it's recalibration. It's the reset button your body and mind crave but rarely receive. Every time you sit quietly, breathe slowly, and let the world fade for a moment, you're not escaping responsibility. You're sharpening readiness. You're creating space between thought and reaction, between emotion and decision. In that space, your best self emerges, the part of you that sees clearly, acts wisely, and speaks with intention. Stillness refines perception. It lets you respond instead of react. It replaces confusion with insight. You don't need hours of silence to experience this power. Just a few minutes of conscious stillness each day can reshape your mental state. Sit, breathe, observe. Watch your thoughts come and go without chasing them. Feel the rhythm of your breath. That simple act reconnects you to your center. Over time, it becomes a sanctuary you can return to in any situation, in chaos, in stress, in conflict. You'll learn that peace is not found in the world, it's built within you. Stillness also builds emotional resilience. When you learn to sit with discomfort instead of escaping it, your tolerance grows. You stop running from pain and begin understanding its message. Every strong mind is built from time spent in silence, facing what others avoid. In stillness, you see that your fears lose power when looked at directly. You begin to understand that most of what disturbs you is temporary. You stop giving storms more weight than they deserve. The power of stillness is subtle but revolutionary. It's how you align your inner rhythm with life itself. When you can be still, you stop fighting time. You begin to move in harmony with it. You no longer chase peace because you realize peace was never lost, only buried beneath distraction. Every day you choose stillness, you strengthen your foundation. You remind yourself that real power is not in speed, not in volume, but in presence. From that place, your thoughts become deliberate, your energy becomes pure, and your life begins to move with effortless precision. The next habit that elevates every aspect of your existence is gratitude. Gratitude is not simply saying thank you, it is the daily practice of shifting your focus from what is missing to what is present. It's the conscious act of seeing abundance where your mind was trained to see lack. Most people wait for happiness to arrive before they feel grateful, but the truth is reversed. Happiness comes because you are grateful. Gratitude doesn't just change your thoughts, it changes your chemistry. It rewires your brain to notice possibilities instead of problems, to seek light instead of shadows. Each morning you wake up, you are given another chance to experience life, to breathe, to move, to grow. Yet the mind often begins by searching for what is wrong. It scans for imperfections, comparing, complaining, doubting. Gratitude interrupts that pattern. It reminds you that even in difficulty, something good exists. Even in pain, a lesson lives. It doesn't deny struggle. It transforms how you carry it. Gratitude doesn't blind you to reality. It reveals a higher one. Studies show that consistent gratitude practice rewires the brain's reward system. It activates the same pathways as joy and compassion, releasing chemicals that strengthen resilience and emotional balance. That's why people who live with gratitude recover faster from setbacks, experience less stress, and maintain focus longer. Gratitude changes not only how you see life, but how your body feels within it. It literally builds emotional endurance. When you train yourself to see what's right, you no longer get lost in what's wrong. You begin to notice the quiet beauty that life hides in plain sight. The warmth of sunlight, the rhythm of breath, the sound of laughter, the lessons hidden in failure. Gratitude slows time. It makes the ordinary sacred. And in that still awareness, you find peace. Because the moment you stop chasing what you lack and start honoring what you have, the endless craving inside you softens. You stop needing more to feel complete. You realize you already have enough to grow, to give, to become. Gratitude also transforms your relationships. When you focus on what you appreciate in others instead of what you dislike, you create connection instead of distance. People respond to appreciation like plants respond to sunlight. They grow. The same applies to yourself. When you start being grateful for your own efforts, your confidence expands. You stop criticizing every mistake and start recognizing your progress. You begin to build an internal environment of compassion instead of conflict. That is where real self-discipline thrives, not in self-judgment, but in self-respect. Practicing gratitude does not require perfection or elaborate rituals. It requires awareness. One deep breath, one sincere acknowledgement, one quiet thank you, that is enough to shift your state. Gratitude is a daily choice, a muscle that grows with repetition. Some days it will feel easy, other days it will feel impossible. But those are the days when it matters most. Because gratitude in ease is appreciation, gratitude in struggle is transformation. When gratitude becomes your habit, life stops feeling like something to endure and starts feeling like something to honor. Even challenges lose their bitterness because you understand they are shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, deeper. You realize that every moment, even the hard ones, are gifts designed to awaken you. And that awareness becomes freedom, the kind of freedom that no external success can give and no failure can take away. Gratitude becomes your anchor, your quiet reminder that no matter where you are, you already have everything you need to take the next step forward. The next habit that strengthens the foundation of your inner world is self-reflection. Without reflection, life becomes repetition. You move, you act, you strive, but you never truly understand why. Reflection is the art of turning experience into wisdom. It is how you extract meaning from your past and clarity for your future. Most people move through life reacting to circumstances, repeating the same mistakes, chasing the same emotions, but those who pause to reflect begin to see patterns. They recognize what drains them, what inspires them, what keeps them small, and what helps them grow. Reflection turns living into learning. Your mind is constantly collecting data, every thought, every interaction, every emotion, but without reflection, all that data stays scattered. You become overwhelmed, disconnected, unsure of who you are becoming. Reflection is how you gather those fragments and align them with your purpose. It is how you begin to understand your triggers, your habits, and your values. This awareness gives you power because you cannot change what you refuse to examine. The person who reflects daily gains control over the direction of their evolution. They stop being a product of their environment and start becoming the designer of their mind. Psychology calls it metacognitive awareness, the ability to observe your own thinking. It is the mental mirror that shows you how your thoughts shape your actions and how your actions shape your results. When you practice reflection, you activate this higher awareness. You begin to notice when your reactions are rooted in fear instead of wisdom, when your goals are driven by ego instead of purpose. This level of understanding is rare, but it is the key to lasting transformation, because real growth doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing with understanding. Reflection doesn't need hours of solitude or complex rituals. It needs honesty. It needs the courage to ask yourself questions that reveal truth. What am I avoiding? What lesson keeps repeating in my life? What habit no longer serves me? What emotion am I refusing to feel? These questions open the door to awareness. They are uncomfortable because they dissolve illusions. But once you face them, clarity follows. You stop walking in circles. You begin to move forward with precision. The most powerful part of reflection is how it connects you back to purpose. Every day you pause to think deeply. You remind yourself of why you began. You realign with your mission. You stop wasting energy on distractions that do not serve your higher path. Reflection cleanses the noise from your mind and refocuses your energy on what truly matters. It replaces confusion with conviction. It transforms regret into wisdom. It turns pain into guidance. And over time, reflection builds emotional maturity. You stop blaming others. You take ownership of your journey. You learn to see failure not as punishment, but as feedback. You start responding to life instead of reacting to it. Each reflection becomes a conversation with your highest self, the version of you that already knows the answers, the one that's been waiting for you to listen. When reflection becomes a daily habit, you start to live with awareness instead of autopilot. You stop repeating yesterday's mistakes and begin crafting tomorrow's breakthroughs. You start choosing growth over comfort, truth over distraction, alignment over speed. Life becomes deliberate. Every experience becomes a teacher, and you begin to understand that wisdom is not found in knowing everything, but in taking time to learn from everything you live through. Another essential habit that elevates your life to a higher state of mastery is intention. Intention is the silent force behind every action that has meaning. It is the reason beneath the effort, the clarity beneath the movement. Without intention, even great action feels empty. You can be busy all day and still move nowhere. But with intention, even small acts carry power. Every breath, every word, every step becomes deliberate. Intention is what turns your life from reaction into creation. Most people drift through their days without realizing how scattered their energy is. They wake up, check their phones, rush through tasks, and wonder why life feels like repetition. They are pulled by impulse, not led by purpose. Intention is how you reclaim that direction. It's the decision to act consciously instead of automatically. It's the discipline to ask yourself before everything you do, why am I doing this? What outcome am I seeking? Does this align with who I want to become? These questions bring awareness back into your actions. They remind you that every moment is a chance to live with meaning or to waste your energy on noise. When your intention is clear, your energy becomes sharp. You stop scattering your focus on things that don't matter. You begin to move with precision, like a blade cutting through distraction. This is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters with full presence. A single act done with intention has more impact than 100 done without it. Intention transforms ordinary routines into spiritual practice. Eating, walking, training, working, all become opportunities to live consciously. Science shows that intention shapes perception. What you set your mind on becomes what your brain looks for. When you intend to grow, you begin noticing opportunities to grow. When you intend to be calm, your awareness heightens to moments of peace. Your brain filters reality through your focus, amplifying what you decide to see. This is why living with intention is not abstract philosophy. It's practical rewiring of your mind. But intention requires consistency. It demands that you pause before reacting, that you choose before moving. It's easy to forget when stress or emotion takes over, which is why it must be practiced daily. Every morning, set an inner direction for the day, not a list of tasks, but a state of being. Choose how you want to move through the world, with strength, with calm, with kindness, with focus. That single moment of clarity anchors your actions for the entire day. Intention also purifies motivation. It helps you separate what's real from what's ego-driven. Are you doing something to be seen or to grow? Are you chasing validation or living in alignment? The more honest you are with your intention, the more peaceful your mind becomes. Because peace doesn't come from what you do, but from knowing why you do it. When intention leads, confusion fades. You stop needing to prove yourself. You start simply expressing your truth through every choice. Living with intention is the ultimate form of self-respect. It says your time matters, your energy matters, your growth matters. Each day becomes purposeful, even the simple ones. You begin to feel a deep connection between thought and action, between purpose and outcome. Life stops feeling accidental. It feels designed, not by luck, but by you, the one who finally chose to move through life awake, deliberate, and fully alive.